Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. It is, I think, Tuesday today. I had to really think about it. Normally I film on a Thursday or a Friday and then I upload at the weekend. But it has been very hot in the UK and we have a little bit of cooler temperature this week, finally. I won't talk about it too much, I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing about it, but it's been difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Actually yesterday was the first time I came back and was able to sit in the attic for like 10 days. I slept downstairs on the sofa in our basement for like days and days. I wanted to film my June wrap up, my kind of June summary of how I used my notebooks and my ring binder, and I have my Undermos binder as well. I've been working really hard on Undermos and I'll explain why when we get there. It was a busy week, a busy month, sorry, hospital appointment wise. There was a lot going on, and I don't know, I feel like June happened very, very quickly. I was looking at photos on my phone last night and I was like, were we not just in May? Were we not just in April? Like, now it's July. I think today might be the 1st or tomorrow. And I'm kind of have the feeling of like, I'm not sure how I got here. Which is, okay, fine, I guess. But also like, how did we get here? I'm seeing MCR in like 10 days and that's really, really exciting. I've loved them since I was so small. I've listened to them my whole life. I don't think I've ever taken a break. It's one of those bands for me where like I think I could have a head full of valuable information if so much of my brain was not taken up by memorizing song lyrics to MCR when I was like 10. It's amazing when I listen to the different albums and even like the B-sides and the demos and I'm like, somehow I know all these songs like all the way through and I don't know how. So that's very exciting. Less exciting, the current forecasts or like the like pre-forecast forecasts are starting to show that we might have another diabolical heatwave starting on the 10th. So prayer circle that doesn't happen, please, because I'm not sure I'll cope. I don't know, that's not relevant to anything, but it's July. June, I stayed in personal rings. It was good. It's been good to me. I think personal rings, touchwood, is the place to settle because it offers enough space to collect everything, to stick things in, to layer stuff, to have just the right amount of information without being overwhelmed. The front is still the same. And I still have my little key. And then inside my Cafe Nero card that I still haven't used. Books, there's no updates. I'm still reading one of the Morganville vampire books. I was surprised last time that a few of you remember them. Whenever I talk to people in real life, they have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm glad a few of you knew them. I'm on book 5 and I think I'm stagnating. I read the first 4 quite quickly in May and June. Well, in May actually, I don't think I've read much in June at all. And then I got to book 5 and I did start it. I'm like 100 pages in and they're only kind of 250 pages, they're quite short. But I just haven't picked it up, haven't opened it. I've been working on Undermos and quite distracted, I think. And then I just been listening to music, I think, instead rather than reading because I've been building a playlist. So I don't know, I think maybe 5 books is as far as I can go with it. I think there's like 15 now. But I am starting to lose interest, I think. I stand by them. It's a bit like reading Scooby-Doo. It's kind of like every book, something is going down in the town. And I do enjoy that as a concept. I think they're really fun, but also the protagonist is 17 and she keeps talking about how she's almost 18 actually, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it anymore. But I did really enjoy them. I think I found another vampire book, a recent release that I'm going to read next. Don't know the name off the top of my head, but I might be moving on from Morganville. And then my headache and migraine diary. I've not printed the one this month yet. They look the same way they always do, lots of red and orange. And then my perfume log, there's nothing new here still. I think I said this last time, but I've been saving money and stuff this month, and because it's hot too, I've had to move all my perfume downstairs. The attic peaked, I think, at 46 degrees Celsius, which is diabolical, truly. Almost inconceivable, to be honest with you. Even when it got down to like 29 degrees outside, the attic was still reading 36. It's quite a situation. I think I have a portable aircon unit with the hose that goes out the window and we have a really good setup for it now. We've moved it like onto a stool. We bought like a perspex window pane thing that it goes through. Like it's a whole thing. We have a whole thing. But it seems to be that once outside gets above kind of like 30, and then especially if it builds over a week, and in the UK we have trouble with the temperature not dropping very well overnight. So when it was hot last week and it got to almost to 40, we weren't getting any lower than like 26 overnight, and that's impossible because the houses can't cool down. So I think the aircon just couldn't keep up, like even though it was running, you'd have to run it the whole night, I think, for it to be, you know, and it's loud and you have to keep emptying the water and it's kind of a whole thing. I don't know. So anyway, my point being, I moved my perfume downstairs to be safe because I was worried it was going to get absolutely cooked in the heat, which it probably would have. So this month, not very much perfume, or not any perfume. I still haven't tried Inexcusable Evil yet either. That's my little gap in my notes because I'm scared. I'm not ready. I'm not scared. I love a weird perfume, even though Vampire Husband did really scare me. But I'll try it, and I know the ones I want to try next. That's what's exciting. I need to try Inexcusable Evil because my rule is that I can't buy more until I've tried them all and they're running out, or at least until I've tried them if I don't like them. That's kind of how I do it. It's like you can't just keep bringing them in and not trying them. It's like books unread, but worse. So I the ones I want to try next, I'm really excited about because I'm trying to find smells for Undermos. Just because I love perfume and I enjoy the process. I have a couple already that I tried in store somewhere and I was like, oh god, this is perfect. And also one of them, this one, Outlaw by Bar, that one smells like honeysuckle, like damp honeysuckle, and to me that smells like Undermos. So I think this one is already in my lineup for Undermos scents. But I want to try some more. There's some really interesting ones out at the moment in the decanting site I use, and I'm really eager to have a sniff. So nothing in the perfume, but I'm very much still doing that. This one I added here yesterday is a sticker from Papatu. I'll link the shop. It's two illustrators. I think they're based in Poland, and I love their work, both of them. They're fantastic, and I ordered a big bundle of stickers from them. And I just think it's delightful. I thought about sticking it on the front, but like everything peels on the front. You have to kind of reapply them. I haven't done it yet, but it doesn't look too bad. But to me, these stickers are a little bit precious. I really like them, and because they're shiny, and I bought like 4 of each, but I don't want to run them out too soon. So I put it here instead so I can see it on the way in. And then my daily pages. So moving into these, and just a quick recap, because I picked my main Instagram back up sometime this month, beginning of this month maybe. Not even for any particular reason, I don't think. I just felt ready, I suppose. And I think as an illustrator in this day and age, it's very hard to, I don't know, you can't really just opt out of social media realistically. Like, I just kept thinking about it. And there were some other reasons and stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm not happy about it, but I'm not happy about it. I think I'm just going to be really strict with how I use it, and hopefully it'll be fine. But I think there are some people watching who might not know how my system works, which is understandable. So just quickly to recap the overview. So my pages are all printed. I don't write these by hand, and I don't cut the stickers out and glue them, or the pictures out and glue them. Everything is printed. I buy pre-cut and pre-punched paper, so the sheets look like this, but they're blank with the holes. And then I make my sheets in Procreate and I add everything digitally, all the text and all the photos, and then I just run the pages through my printer one at a time. My printer doesn't double-sided print, so I just feed them through manually. I turn them over, and then when they're done I put them in the binder. For things like my book log, what I try to do, and my perfume log, is just print them when the page is finished. I've read more books than is shown on the thing, but obviously because I've only got 3 on the next page, they're not printed yet. Same with my migraine tracker. Unless I'm going to the hospital, I won't print it until it's done. And that way I can try not to have to reprint things too often. This really works for me. I think having a primarily digital system was really the answer I needed, and then being able to print it and make it tactile was like the final step, the final solution. It really fixed it for me. That's how I think I've managed to be so consistent for the last, I think we're coming up on 2 years, which is amazing. This really changed everything, and that's how it works. So I print everything. It's not my handwriting, it's a font. The photos are just copied and pasted into the pages, and then I print as I go, and then I archive as I go as well. So that's how it works. My printer, I guess I'll have to put all this info in the description, but my printer is a really old Epson home printer. It's Epson model XP235. I bought it in 2015, and I've had it since, and it's my best friend. I keep paying a lot of money to get it repaired because I don't trust new printers, even Epson ones. Like, I just don't trust them. My old one does so well, and it's very resilient, if you will, touch wood. and I keep getting it cleaned and I get bits replaced, and the printer guy is telling me that it's basically like the ship of Theseus. Except the shell is original, like it's just the insides he keeps fixing. He keeps telling me that it would be cheaper just to buy an eco tank, but I'm like, I don't trust them. I know people have good experiences, but I trust my printer. I know my printer. I like that it just functions and it just does its job. There's no fancy bits. It's never been connected to Wi-Fi. Like, it just has cables and wires. And so I love my printer. I'll try and simplify that information in the description for anyone looking for it as well, but that's how my pages work, and it really works for me. It really does. So this is the end of May. I think we must have seen these bits when I spent my friend's birthday with her in London with the wristband on the back. I feel like I remember talking about these. Did I talk about these? I saw Backrooms and Obsession, both so good, but Obsession especially. I feel like I might remember talking about it. Obsession blew me away. And then here is my calendar for June, and this ended up being quite accurate. I had my sleep study in June. Actually, we did not have much rain, so that's not accurate, but I was dead. And I ate a lot of ice cream, so, you know, it's not accurate, but it was a strange one. First week of June, I was listening to a live recording of Automatic by Half Alive in the lead up to my sleep study, because that is like my comfort song of all time. It does things to my brain in such a way, and I was just sat here at my table listening to it, watching it, like trying to like not have a nervous breakdown about my sleep study. And you know, not to be dramatic, because it really isn't that deep, but when you've been through so much medical stuff and you never seem to get any answers and it just keeps going and going and going and going, it's exhausting. It's so knackering. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm so heartily sick of all of it. And in the lead up to doing, and this is my second sleep study, I've already done one and it was inconclusive. They just said like, all your data is so weird. So doing a second one for twice as long, I was not looking forward to it at all. And so I was kind of, you know, trying to be chill, but I was very much kind of like in my head about it. And I was listening to that song by Coping, and then I was like, oh, this is a nice setup. So I took a photo. And also just because I like to document everything, even if it's not good. I had a birthday dinner I went to. I got a bag, a Coach bag, to try and make myself feel better about the sleep study, which is ridiculous, but I'd been saving for it for a long time anyway. It was just that I like pulled the plug a bit too soon. I was meant to wait until after July, and I'd been putting the money away, and then I realised I had it, and I was like, okay, but you still have other stuff to pay for, and so I was meant to wait a bit longer. And I went out to buy stuff for my sleep study, like a crossword book and some snacks and earplugs and stuff, and I just bought it, and then I got home and I was like, evil. But I don't regret it, because she's beautiful and she's perfect. You might remember, if you watch regularly, that a couple of months ago I was talking about how the other bag I have that I love, the really big leather one with all the buckles on it, I love it so much, but it was giving me back pain in like the back of my shoulders and my back, and in my neck as well. And because I get migraines kind of like around my brainstem, it was making things a lot worse, and I was kind of devastated because I really loved that bag, and I got that one on super sale. Like, I was so proud of it, but I couldn't carry it anymore because it was giving me too much pain. So this one, beautiful, and also a lot smaller, but I can still fit A5 books in it, which is a big plus. And it's just enough weight, I think, wise. Actually, when I took Wednesday for a walk the other day when the heat finally broke, I took this binder and my 2 books. Like, I had all 3 of them in my bag to see if I could. And like, you can't close the bag, it doesn't clip shut because the magnet's not far down enough, with all the books stacked in. But I carried them the whole walk. We were out for like 3 hours, and I didn't realise I had them all still. I kept forgetting because it wasn't giving me pain, which is amazing. So I got a new bag. Here's a photo of stuff in my bag because I was excited. I have this water bottle too from SCRT, Skirt. My dad and I always say it in a funny voice. Stay Creative Company. That's what they're called, I think. And it just says pond water on it, and I think it's so funny. I wish it was bog water, but I'll take pond water. This one, my packing list for the sleep study, because I was trying to be organised and kind of not freak out too much, and also be on top of it in a way without, you know. And then that's, oh, I didn't print the second half of that week. Stunning. This happens to me every time. I feel I'm always like, oh no, where's my page? And also I realised at some point this month I messed up my week numbers. When I do my Alistair log, I write the week number because I like to know where we are, and I messed those up, actually, I think after this point. So maybe this is good because I have a chance to fix it. My hospital wristband, very boring. My sad little meal ticket, because like all I ate was like cheese sandwiches. I'm vegetarian, and in the hospital in Oxford, all the vegetarian food has sweet corn and onions in it. I don't know why they're obsessed with sweet corn and onions, I guess because they're cheap. But I'm allergic to sweet corn and I really can't eat onions. It's like I don't know if it's like, how would you call it? Like I just can't keep them down. The texture stresses me out too much and it makes me gag. I can't do onions, which is a shame because I love the taste of onions, but the texture, no matter what, gets me every time. So all I ate was cheese sandwiches and yogurts, and then they told me I couldn't even have yogurts at dinner time because you can only have yogurts at lunchtime, and I was like, that is actually like, this is cruel. It's so unnecessary. Had a jacket potato, and you could have beans or cheese, not both, which is like a sad way to run things. But I kept it for a souvenir, and then I have this funny sticker on the back to cheer myself up when I go back through it. They kept bringing me cups of tea in plastic mugs, and the tea was like, the tea bag is like barely dunked in the water, and they don't let you keep the tea bag. It's a terribly depressing state of affairs. But I got through it. Afterwards, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, people kept saying like, how did it go? And I'm like, I don't know. It was fine, but only because it had to be. I had no choice but to do it and get through it, and now hopefully I'll never have to do another one. The same guy did this one as my last one in 2024 actually, and when I was leaving he let me know he was off and I was about to get in the shower finally, and I said to him like, hopefully I won't see you in 2026, and we both did like, 2028 rather, and we both did like a nervous giggle. It's not likely. If they can't find anything this time, I think that's it. I don't think they would do a third one. This one was 3 days long, so you know. And it went, you know, as well as it could have, I think. I slept 4 out of 5 naps. I only did 4 naps. The first nap I think I only drifted because there's helicopters that land over the hospital and they're really loud and they kept waking me up. And the ward is quite noisy as well. And also there was a student, so when you do the MSLT, which is the nap test, like you're in the room and they're like, okay, take a nap now, and you're like, okay. And then they just sit in these plastic chairs opposite your bed watching you. And it's like, it's so cursed. You really have to be a champion sleeper to get through it because it's weird as hell. Thankfully I knew what to expect this time, and I don't, but I mean, as I said to someone, I don't know if that made it better or worse. And also the electrodes and then the glue, and it just all sucks. But it's done, and now my results appointment is July next year, not even July this year. I won't know what my results are until next year, like 13 months. So, you know, it's done. My dad's partner picked me up, which was really, really lovely of her, and we went for a big walk after, and I was rewarded, honestly, with the most beautiful sunset. It was a really lovely walk. We've been letting Wednesday off lead in the park recently, and because we're with the other dogs, and she's so happy. It makes her so happy, and it's really sweet. So we went for this big loop around the canal, and I couldn't believe, you know, how beautiful it was. Yeah. And then I just have some more photos from evening walks that week. It was quite damp and kind of like not cold that week, but it wasn't hot yet. And so I have photos of the pylon and my shoes, and then honeysuckle that someone's got on their hedge. So beautiful, the smell. The smell gets me every time. And then I was meant to be taking it easy this week, but like I think I was so restless after spending like 3 full days in the hospital that I made some new stickers, and then I just kept going for walks and doing stuff. I really like how the stickers turned out. I'm going to order some physical sheets for UK folks soon. If you buy digital, they're already in the shop. I'm really happy with them. And then this one, I've been listening to the Kill All Your Friends demo from MCR, the demo version specifically, because it's better than the recorded version. There are lyrics missing from the recorded version that are in the demo version. There's this one bit where he says he thinks your politics stink, but he says it like with a long S, like a snake. So he says like stink, and I really like that. So I've been listening to this song on loop for a bit. My dad is sick of hearing it, and it's so funny because he's not even singing properly, so it's because it's a demo, so it's literally just like the wailiest, shoutiest, stunning stuff. I really love it. The following week, my daily pages, I think, see, this one says 25. See, how did we jump? I feel like things are not correct. This is the one that's missing, but like why how did we jump to 25? See, I need to fix it. Or does it say 23? I think it's a 5, doesn't matter. This one, I took some photos of my perfume for Instagram. I wanted a picture of my collection. I don't know, I think it's been nice to share the things I care about, I suppose. I have a lot of blog photos upcoming. My patrons would have seen them all already because they're from Scotland, but I wanted to share them on Instagram too, so something to look forward to for everyone. Yeah, I don't know, I love perfume, I really do, so it's been nice to kind of take photos of my collection. And I love documenting things for my binder as well, so every time I take photos for things, it's like it's for the binder first, and then everything else is just great after. And that's kind of the nice thing about these pages, I think, because they're like a photo album, and I really like flipping through them. It's really an enjoyable activity for me. I wore my tabby shoes to the hospital, so I had my sleep study, and then I had I had 4 days at home, and then I had to go to the neurologist in Reading, because of the other brain stuff that they still don't know what's going on. They're still saying brainstem migraines, probably. So I saw the neurologist here, and he was saying that I should not have been discharged in January that time, and I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. And he was apologetic, and he was talking to me about my meds and stuff, because I got discharged. They gave me a bunch of meds to try in January, and then they discharged me, and no one was like, I had like tried to call them to talk to them about like symptoms I was getting from the medication or how things were evolving, and she was like, oh, you're not here anymore, like you have to talk to your GP. And then I spoke to my GP, like I had like 8 GP trips, and she would just sit there with me, and she would explain to me that like she's not sure, like she just doesn't know, and she was trying really hard to help, but like it was really just not under her purview. And so it was a whole thing, and then I went to see this guy finally. They gave me another appointment, and after a hospital trip, and then he was like, oh, that shouldn't have happened, like you shouldn't have just been like freewheeling your meds. And I was like, I knew it, like what is, like why? So very annoying. But the good thing is that he also gave me a nerve block. He was like, have you ever had one? And I said, yeah, Great Ormond Street gave me one when I was a kid. And then he said, do you want one now? Because like, have you had one since? And I said no. And he was like, oh, has no one offered you one? And I was like, no. So he was like, do you want one? And I was like, well, I didn't really plan for this, but yeah, at this point I have so much pain every day, like I'll take anything. I was willing to try it. So I got a surprise nerve block in my occipital nerves. I got 2 in the back of my head, 2 in my neck, and 2 in my shoulders. So it's 2 occipital nerve blocks and then 4 trigger points. And I am wary to talk about it because I have had so much pain and so many weird symptoms, and I really don't want to jinx it. And you know how I feel about jinxing. But it helped. I feel better. Like I also came off one of the meds I was on. He told me that one of the medications I'm on, that I've been on for like 6 years, the dose was so low it wasn't even considered therapeutic. And I was like, see, now how has no one told me that? How did I not know that? Like, why has no one noticed that? So the whole thing was kind of like, I was so grateful, and I was also so angry because I was like, you're just like, this is all ridiculous, like it's so daft. And so I had very mixed feelings afterwards. And then because I ran a fever for 2 days after the block, and then it got really, really hot, so I was trying to work out if I was actually feeling better or not, and I couldn't quite tell because of the noise, like just generally just stuff going on in my head kind of noise. And it was this whole thing, and like now it's not so hot, and I like the block has settled, and I'm off those meds, and like I'm like, I do feel better. Like I think my brain feels ever so slightly clearer for the first time in I don't know how many years. And like when you have long-term chronic pain, you learn to ignore it. Like I was talking to my brother once, and he pointed out that I must have been suppressing pain since I was like 12 years old, which is true. Like, I don't think about it. Like, when people talk about masking autism and stuff, I don't know that I've ever really done that, but masking pain, I think I learned too young. And now, like, when I go to appointments, I have a really hard time trying to convince them how much pain I'm in because I can't show it. It's this whole thing. And it's probably a bit deep for a Tuesday morning on a YouTube video about filofaxes. But it's just this thing where, like, when you're so used to it, and you almost stop hearing it, even though it's affecting you so deeply. And then when it suddenly goes, you're like, wait. And now I almost can't fathom how bad it was, if that makes sense. It's kind of this whole thing. But the TLDR is that I got a nerve block. I got 6 needles in the back of my head. And I was a really big fan. I think it worked. Not completely, as I was quick to say to my dad, like, I'm not fixed. If I push myself, and then when it's hot too, at the end of the day when I've been working, I can feel it in the back of my head. Like I can feel my wet headache. I can still feel that migraine back there, like pushing. like almost through the block, if that makes sense. It's a very strange sensation, but that's when I know I have to put everything down. Like I have to cut myself off because I can feel it pushing. So I'm not fixed, nothing has really changed, but it has made a big difference on my day-to-day feeling right now. The only downside being, of course, nerve blocks can last anywhere from a week to 6 months and you just won't know. You can get them as part of your regular care, I think, at least in America, but I don't know how often they give them in the UK, so I'm kind of like nervous. But that's what that page is about. I wore my tabby shoes to the appointment to try and cheer myself up because I thought it was going to be a horrible appointment. And actually it was too hot and my feet were warm and they gave me terrible blisters, so it was not a win. I also got more new meds to try, which is really frustrating. I'm really sick of it, but there we go. I saw some nice ducks by the canal. There's goslings and stuff out at the moment still, so just more walks, and then that's the end of that week because it was hot and I was feverish. Actually this is just before it got super hot. It was climbing, and then this is the week when it was hot last week. Yeah, 22nd of June. So most of it is just tracking the temp. 35 on Wednesday, 35. I think it got to 37 on Thursday in the end. And then, see, this is week 26. I feel like that's when I realised. I have been working on Undermos. I'll show you these. I copied them over for my pages here too, because I got to the end of last week, yesterday, Sunday, day before yesterday, and I had no pages from this week because it had been so hot and I've been so focused on Undermos. I've been maintaining my little like recaps and my list, but I hadn't actually typed up any pages. And I normally try to do, if it's a really, really, really bad week for some reason, I'll just do 1 to even out the pagination, and I normally try to do 3 at least, just to have something to look at, and because that's kind of the point of it all. So I copied these over from Undermos so I could talk about Undermos and the heat, and then I have the photos from when we went on that walk on Sunday with my bag and the dog. So here you can see the photo. That's my personal binder, that's my Hobonichi, and that's my A5 Undermos binder. And they fit, and as I say, you can't close the bag, but you can loop the flap over, and if you're careful, things don't fall out. And then we went for a walk with Wednesday, and I got these shoes that I really love as well because I needed some more summer shoes. I have a lot of like platform boots, but I don't have any shoes that don't cook your feet in the heat. So I got these Puma ballet shoes, and I think they're really cute. So I was taking photos of those and my bag and all my books and the dog. Yeah, it's funny. Pylon, I have a little calendar here. I have the Snoopy calendar. I think I got it from Journal Station at the beginning of the year, and I really love it, but I don't love the colours the whole way through. March was okay, but now we're in June, which is a purple month, and it's space themed, and I love purple stuff, and I also love Snoopy and space stuff, so July was okay too. And then I have one of those Papatoo stickers on the back as well. That's one of the artists, and then a picture of my shoe. And that's it. That's everything in my personal binder this month. Yeah, it's been a strange one. As I say, it's just a lot of appointments, a lot of medical stuff going on, which is so wearisome when you're sick of it, and you just kind of have to get through it. You just have to kind of like, you know, grit your teeth. Some good stuff and some bad stuff, and also just some stuff that's been very frustrating. And then everything else, basically, the whole time, I've just been like trying to tunnel vision on Undermos so that I don't think about it all, because you drive yourself mad. It's such a situation. And when you're talking to doctors in person too, like when you're in the system, the NHS, like they're trying their hardest, like it's not really their fault, especially on like a one-to-one level. Like it's not the neurologist's fault, it's not the doctor's fault really, like they're all trying. But that doesn't make it any easier for you, if that makes sense. It still just sucks, so it's just a whole thing. But fingers crossed my nerve block sticks around for a good amount of time, because it's been really, really helpful. So that is my personal binder, still going very strong, very content in here. We'll be carrying it into July. My meeplus binder, beloved, and that's that one. Next we can go through my... I think maybe I'll talk about my cousin Avec quickly, just because it won't take very long. There's not a lot in here right now. I only set this up a couple of days ago, so we can speed run it, and then I get to info dump about Undermos at the end. So I bought a set of A5 avec books at the beginning of the year, because I wanted to do this basically in them. but I started the January one and then I just didn't stick it through. I think because I was still so poorly, and then I was doing a lot of new meds and it kind of became a whole thing. And then I lost months by accident, and now it's July. So don't know how we got here, but it didn't work. I still had the second half though because of it. I bought them as a set, and so I woke up the other morning and I was like, do you know what, I think I'm ready to tackle that now. Like, I'm in a good place with my rings in personal size. I think in January and February I was also transitioning from pocket back to personal, which wouldn't have helped, but now I've been in personal since February and I'm feeling very settled and very comfortable with the workload of it. And I was kind of like, but I still want somewhere to write by hand, and something about my A6 day free hasn't been clicking for me. I think it's those smaller pages. It's always that same thing. Many of you will remember this fight within myself. The small ones are so cute. I want to be a small book person, but when I'm working creatively and when I'm putting stickers and stuff everywhere, like, for some reason the small ones just don't click for me in the same way. I like the space you have to let things breathe on a big page without the decorations becoming overwhelming. And so it's always kind of like this push and pull of like, do I want something small or do I want something big? And it's that thing again where I was kind of like, well, a big book makes more sense because it fills the gaps in my system. When I have ephemera that's too big to go in my rings, they can go in here. And that's kind of what it always comes back to, is like, if I use an A6, it's cute, but it doesn't fill any gaps in my system. It doesn't give me enough room to breathe, really. And it's kind of like this push and pull. I don't know. I had this one anyway, as I said. So I covered this up with black card, so that I could get used to seeing it dark, so that if I manage to stick it out until January, the yellow is not going to jump scare me because I can cover it up immediately. So I covered the blue, even though I quite like the blue, because the yellow is so dastardly. I covered up the blue as well so I can get used to seeing it like this. There's nothing really happening in the front of all of here, it just starts for the first week of July. I have this bookmark that Kat sent me. Kat, I'll link her shop in the description. It's one of her beautiful photographic bookmarks, and I'm using that to mark my page. I was sorting through all my stationery this week, and I found so many wonderful things that people have sent me, and I was sorting through it all properly and putting it away. I bought some like organizers, and it was so nice because, like, you know, when you just have a lot of stationery and it's kind of just in a box and then you're just rifling through it, but being able to organize it and sort through it, I was able to be like more aware of the stuff I have, and I found some really cool things that I forgot I had, so it was really lovely. A bunch of Kat's bookmarks included. I really love them. So these are my decorations for this week, and I'm just kind of putting thoughts here, like loose thoughts. It's kind of just an extra place to stick stuff. So I have one of my calendars, I have an Undermos sticker, some dog stickers. It's just, you know. This one I think is just a place for overflow thoughts. I'm not really 100% sure what I want to do with it. I think I just want somewhere to put stickers, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I just really miss using stickers. I can put stickers in my rings, but I think I prefer to keep it relatively minimal. So I do put stuff in, but I don't layer like this because my pages are typed, if that makes sense. So this is kind of just a place to have fun, I think, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just a fun place. I put one of the adhesive Hobonichi pockets in here, a sheet of star stickers. This one is a peon like card, and this one is also a sticker from Kat because she has the best bat stickers. I love her like scrunkly bats. And then I have this UFO one from June because of the UFO. This one is the Sora Moon calendar, and I feel like my voice is a bit scratchy, I'm really sorry. And then I've started writing for July, even though I don't think we're there yet. I don't know what day it is. This one, oh, Wednesday, so tomorrow is the 1st of July. But I don't care. I don't know that I'll be using it consecutively. I'll try to fill July in July, and then if I want to write otherwise, I just will. The rules are kind of no rules. I'm going to use 2 columns, so every page, this one will be blank, and I put my tags in here, and that way the pages aren't so big, and I can just fill 2 columns, and then it keeps it looking quite minimal as well. I really like it. I was doing that in my day free, and that did work. So I'm carrying that over 2 columns. I like it. And then I stick stuff on this side as well. That's kind of how it works. It's the space for like the sources, the index dots, and then like anything that kind of overlaps, like this one, I guess. And I like how that looks over time. So I have one of those Papatoo stickers again. I have a medication label. Have more of my moon calendar, or my Snoopy moon calendar now. I love them. So cute. And then this side, I did these yesterday. Some more stickers. Mew Mew Beam stickers. This one is one of those label sheet ones. And then some of the stickers I have, like this fig, are gifted to me. I think Bronte gave me this one. And then someone else sent me these like pet tapes. So I'm not sure where a lot of my collection is from actually, because I have so many gifted scraps. This one is an Undermos like pinboard like screenshot, kind of a mood board. I'm gonna write about Undermos stuff here, and that's it really. In the back I have this that Kat sent me too. Shout out to Kat. Yeah, I just really liked how the envelope looked. She put stamps on it and it was really cute, so I cut the top off to keep my index stickers in. And then I have a Hon board, pencil board, and then underneath I just have like a place to scribble my pen. And that's everything in here so far. As I say, there's nothing, it's not too exciting. It's just somewhere to have fun, I think, and to write by hand, because I do really miss that still. That's always going to be, I think, a theme when I'm using digital stuff, is like I do still like writing by hand. I'm still using my untrustworthy, trusty friction pen. I've never had any heat issues. This one was even up here when the attic was 40 and it was okay. So I don't know if maybe the UK is just like the peak climate for them, but I haven't had any problems, touch wood. So not too much to see, but I will keep you updated, especially on Patreon. I'll make sure I show you guys fairly regularly. And I'm just gonna see how I go. I'm just gonna see how I get on. The one thing I will say, to keep myself in the loop of Hobonichi, because I do really love the company and I do really love the things they make. I like how thoughtful it all feels. So I'm gonna use this and see how I get on until September, obviously. And then I still want to be able to buy the A6 covers. This is the thing, because the A6 covers are so much nicer than the A5s. I find the A5s just feel too big. And I find I like the Avec books best when they're compact, so when they don't have too much going on. And when you put a cover on them, they feel twice the size. I love the A6 ones. I have so many beautiful A6 covers and they're so cute. It's a real sticking point for me. I think it's why I always then go back to the A6 Day Free, why I always reach for it, and why I always try and trick myself into thinking like this time it'll work. It's because the covers are so much cuter. So I think what I'm gonna do, or what I am trying, I ordered some. I got these little A6 sticker release books, and I won't share them yet because I don't know if it's gonna work. But I found them on a, I think, Swedish stationery website, because they weren't stocked in the UK. I think they're a Japanese product. And they just have sticker release paper in them. They have little ring bound that clip open. It's small. And then I'm hoping they're gonna fit in the like A6 Hobonichi covers. And then I can put all my sticker collection into those, which is also part of my organisation that I've been working on. And kind of being aware of what I have and then not overbuying, which, to be fair, I haven't been doing recently, but it's just kind of like a wider thing. I'm trying to be more organised, trying to clean my space up, trying to be aware of the stuff I have, trying not to buy things impulsively, and you know. So if the sticker release books fit, then that would be really, really good, because I have like 3 or 4 A6 Hobonichi covers, I think, small ones, maybe 5. And then I can keep my stickers in them, and I think that's a really nice way of being able to still have them as part of my process, if that makes sense. I don't know, we'll see. That's kind of just what I've been thinking, because I do love the stuff they make, I really do. So that's my Hobonichi. Not sure yet, we'll see how we go. It's meant to be kind of a chill place, like no stress, no pressure, just have fun with stickers, which I really like. And then finally, and I was just checking that it's still recording, because I am having issues with phone storage at this point. My phone is older than I thought. I'm like 7 models behind at this point, and it's letting me know by suffering greatly. This is my A5 meeplus binder. I'm not sure why it's dusty, because I use it every day. Probably because I'm always got it on the floor and on tables and on sofas and just always throwing it around. I added this spiral to my charms. They hang a bit low now, but I don't mind. And I took this from, there was a necklace I saw, like costume jewellery, and it was just made of spirals, and I bought it for like £10 so that I could take all the spirals out of the links. And now I have like 15 of these in different sizes. And yeah, for Undermos charms, I think it's cute. So I added that. Yes, this is my A5 meeplus. On the side it says anything not saved will be lost, which I like. These are my kind of like thoughts pages. I have some kind of like, I redrew this, some journaling stuff. And then I have dividers, which are so annoying, the Filofax dividers. Filofax, I'm in your walls. Because tell me why it's printed on here, label the tabs with a permanent marker on every single page. Like, thank you, I think I probably could have worked that out, Filofax, but thank God you've printed it on every divider so I don't forget. Like, just seems like a very interesting choice to me. Yeah, so I've been working really hard on Undermos, and it's partly because I have had this idea of making shorter installments. The first book is a lot, it's 160 pages or something like that, and it took me a really long time to work through, and I was so poorly when I did it too. I wanted to do something bigger because I think the current book is so small to hold in your hand, and because it's so thick too, it's quite hard work to hold open. And also I wanted it to be bigger so that when you hold it and you look at it, you feel like you're inside it, like you can really see it. Like, I don't know, it's just a feeling I have. So we've been working on these A5 pages, A5 Filofax style, like my Home Alone Halloween zine. Hang on, they're just here under the table. So this was the zine I made in 2024, and it was a Filofax zine, and these are still in the shop for UK folks if you want one. I have some left, a pile, and I really liked how this turned out. It was nice, and I wanted to do something kind of like that for Undermos, kind of like more of a zine or a magazine or a comic kind of feel to it, and more graphic novel-y too because it's bigger. So I've kind of just been working through it and working on ideas. So to open this chapter, I have the newsletter, one of the newsletters that I wrote a couple of months ago. And then the pages are big now and the illustrations are big, and like I just feel like when you look at it now, the colours and the details and everything, like it feels more, like you really feel like you're in that kind of, I don't know, that's the feeling I get. So these are the first couple of pages. I've just finished the first chapter, so I'll show you, and I won't talk about all the little details too much because, you know, I put a lot of my life into this. Like the layout of the shop is my grandparents' shop almost, so like there's a lot of stuff like that it doesn't need detailing right now, but I'll get too into it. Yeah, I've been adjusting these as I go and I'm really pleased with them. So the idea is kind of like it'll be shorter installments, maybe 2 or 3 chapters per installment, and it'll be printed like, I don't know how yet, maybe like this with staples, probably not, hopefully, I don't know, I haven't decided. I have some ideas, I have some vibes in my head. I'll see how I feel when I get there, but at the moment I'm just trying to get through this installment because it's also more interactive. I made a crossword. God, I love a crossword. I made a crossword and stuff, and I think I'm going to add some recipes. I made a playlist. I've been working really hard on my Undermos playlist because my music taste is very specific, and the vibe of Undermos to me is also very specific. So it took me a long time to work out how I wanted it to sound. I worked on it during the heatwave last week when I was in the basement and I wasn't sleeping. I basically didn't sleep for the whole time, and I just worked on Undermos and I ate ice lollies for like all my meals. And then at between midnight and 4 in the morning every night, I would just work on the playlist like in the dark while Wednesday was snoring on the sofa, and I'd be sat there like in the heat just like listening to the songs and like the transitions between songs and stuff. It was so cursed, but also kind of fitting. So yeah, I like the idea of the next installments, the future of Undermos, being bigger, first of all, both kind of in the things I attempt and also the actual size and shape, and then it being more interactive too. Like I'm playing with the idea of having like literal choose your own adventure installments, and like playlists and crosswords and puzzles and like, I don't know, just things. So that's what I've been working on. And it's been a very, very good distraction because I worked on this in the sleep clinic, I worked on this before my neurology appointment, I worked on this all through the heat wave. It's been a real lifeline, to be honest, not just last year but this year too now. So yeah, so this is how the pages are looking. Like this one I feel like I'm there now, like because it's so much bigger and I can see it open and I'm like, okay, I'm on the high street, I can feel the high street. It's been nice. Here is the hospital, the health clinic, not the hospital, but like the clinic. Every good town has a doctor who actually listens to you. You can really tell I'm processing my life through these pages, huh? But this is our doctor. He's a new character, Dr. Montgomery. He just came to me in a dream. You know how it is. But it's been really fun to work through and to add little things like the pain scale. I made this form, so I've been making more ephemera for Undermos too. So I made some forms. I made these like glitchy looking people. I did that myself. That's one of the stickers for the new sticker sheet. It's been really good. And then these as well, I made these. This one is an ASCII cobweb, and then I put the houses on top. And this one, I put a photo of elderflower I took through like a crunchifying image thing. So I made that as well. And then some bugs. Yeah, it's just, and then, oh, I did this one, this A5 illustration. This is the first time I've done a full page A5 illustration for Undermos like that, I think. It's like an art print. And I was really worried, but it came out so nice. With Undermos, it's been nice actually, because when I did the first book, I was so intimidated and I was like, God, I don't know how I'm drawing any of this, but I did it. And so by the time I started this volume and then I started these bigger pages, I was like, well, you already did all that, you might as well try. And like, I know that's not particularly groundbreaking as far as like moods go, but like every time I think like, how the hell am I going to draw that? I just go, well, let's give it a go. And then it works. Like I get there eventually and then I'm like, damn, okay, next. Like, it's just, oh, it's a cool feeling. I didn't know I had it in me, I guess. Didn't know I could do it. The shopkeeper making some hot chocolate, super cute. And Miles with his TV, his CRT TV, rubbing his eye and being moody. And then the crossword, I did this yesterday, really pleased with it. My brother tested it for me and he managed to fill it out. There was only one he was stuck on, or two he was stuck on. One because he hadn't heard the word, and the other one because it was a super long word that he wasn't familiar with. But he said the rest of it was fine, and he solved it. So shout out to my brother for testing the crossword. What a guy. Really appreciated it. I love a crossword. So it was really fun to make this. They're all very Undermos themed words. I'm really pleased with it. It's really silly words, like, I don't want to spoil it. I won't give you any of them. But it's, you know, moody words and spooky words and kind of like environment-y, kind of spooky, gloomy stuff. It's fun. So that's in there. And now I'm on the next pages after that. So that's how Undermos is looking. Shout out to Undermos for getting me through things all the time. Genuinely the funniest project I accidentally started on a whim as a coping mechanism that blew up into something that became an even bigger coping mechanism. I always feel like that, the conspiracy meme, when I talk about it, that's genuinely like the feeling I have about it all. Is like I just woke up one day like that and I never was able to put it back down. But I'm really happy with how it's going. I'm really pleased. So stay tuned. If you liked the first version of Undermos and you're, you know, curious, please be curious. Can't afford for people to lose interest. Yeah, it's going places. It's, you know, things are happening. Yeah, Undermos. Okay, that's everything, I think. Thank you for watching. I will be back for my July wrap-up, maybe sooner. I might make some other videos about other things potentially, but it really depends, I guess, on the heat waves. Obviously, if it gets to 40 degrees again, I don't think the aircon is going to be able to keep up here, and I won't have a choice. I'll be back in the basement. Oh, so the reason, quickly, I forgot to say, the reason I'm working so hard on this one too, not just because it's a very convenient coping mechanism for me, but because I'm really hoping to make a Halloween issue. I really want to make a spooky season edition of Undermos in a smaller installment. So I'm having to try and work, not rush, because I'm not rushing, I'm a perfectionist. It's actually a problem. It's a real problem because I keep tweaking things and I can't leave it alone. I'm not rushing by any means, but I am working really hard to try and see this first installment through as kind of like a proof of concept. I'm trying to make sure that it works and that I'm happy with how it works and unfolds as like kind of like an idea, so that ideally by mid-July I can start work on a Halloween issue, and then we can have spooky Undermos this year. Like, I really want it to happen. So that's why I'm working so hard on it and why I'm kind of tunnel visioned. Big shout out to my patrons who've been very patient with me always, because there's not been much interesting to look at apart from Undermos screenshots. But I really want to see this one through as soon as I can, realistically, so that I can consider a Halloween version. I really want it to be a thing. I really want to give it a go. But yeah, so that's why. But okay, I'm gonna go drink my coffee now. I don't know what time it is, early still. But thank you for watching. Shout out to everyone in Europe. Hope you're coping with the crazy heat. It's been intense. I hope everyone gets a little reprieve soon. This last couple of days has been such a relief for us here, but it looks like it's picking up again at the end of next week, or the end of this week now, which is not ideal. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.